I had a hell of a weekend. It was a Panamanian weekend where we brought some firemen, we call them the first responders from Panama to celebrate the Veterans Day. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and we attended the Veterans Day parade. We had a contingent of, I don't know, probably just under 100. Well, actually, the big band didn't come, so it was probably about 50 something Panamanians or so marching with, the veterans who fought in the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and all these other wars on behalf of the United States. We've lost thousands of Panamanians, and I'm not talking about just injured, but deaths. Thousands of Panamanians have also fought in all these wars, including Iraq. And my good friend from Panama, Roberto Lewis, formed a group called Pantex as a veteran. It's a 501c3, and his dream was to have a weekend to expose what our folks from our culture has done in this country. And I kind of lent some legs, very little legs to it, because again, like I said, this was his dream to put out there. And we had 3 days of Veterans Day celebration with a whole bunch of Panamanians right here in Houston, and many who flew in from all over the country and from Panama. And it was a wonderful thing, culminating in the parade yesterday. And we were a big part of that parade downtown, as we saw the Panamanians with their polleras, which is a dress style that we have, the women in these beautiful dresses with colors and a lot of beads in their hair. And the men, the montunos, which is they're dressed in a kind of simple black and white, sort of like a guayabera, something that we wear. And, was very well received in downtown. But one of the things that we wanted to do, as I was telling Roberto, is that we wanted to show with the state that we have in this world, the way Trump speaks about those folks that are south of the border, they are animals. In other words, we are animals. Those of us that came and naturalized and became U.S. citizens, we are animals, criminals, and all these things. But the truth of the matter is what we showed yesterday are folks who fought for this country, lost members of this country. After I gave the little talk when our band, rather not band, but when our group passed, I kind of gave a little spiel about what we are, who we are, and what we've done, our positive doings for this country. As I walked back in, after I did that, I walked into our crowd, not our crowd, our desfile, our group that was marching. And just one of the Panamanian chicks just slapped me and said, that is true. My uncle, or I don't remember, died in the Vietnam War. I mean, just if most Americans understood that the people that come here south of the border have always been, not sometimes been, have always been a net positive for this country. Always been a net positive for this country. Because in fact, this country was formed by people who came here. But I always, whenever you feel that angst toward the immigrant, whenever you feel that you want to disparage the immigrant, whenever you think the immigrant is taking something from you, the first thing to remember is many of not all of the founders were immigrants to this country. But unlike the immigrants of today, and this is important to inculcate in one's mind, this is not an attack, this is not a charge, this is just a reality check. The immigrants that are coming over here today, the vast majority aren't criminals. I'm talking about criminals or what you count on the fingers. The vast majority are not criminals. All they're coming for here is to make a better life for themselves. They're coming, and in making a better life for themselves, they have actually assisted in America. from the people who are doing your lawns to the Steve Jobs of Arab descent, to all those folks in Silicon Valley, all those folks that have been innovative. These are immigrants coming to this land. And one last point. These immigrants are coming not to conquer, but to work. Our original immigrants here came, conquered, maimed, killed, enslaved. So before you point your finger at anybody crossing the border today, remember those who crossed the border in 1619 or elsewhere. Remember, that was crossed in the form of conquering. That is not an attack on any specific, because I don't know of any country that was formed without some sort of a violence, the nature of humanity that we are trying to mitigate right now. I don't think we should have that problem. That's why, in as much as I don't support war, I also don't support what Russia has done to Ukraine. I don't support what Israel is doing to Gaza. But let's keep perspective. That angst that got Trump elected, that fear that got Trump elected, is something that we have to work on from within. And we have to learn that. Make us better people.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.